a charter school, the sale of of public property, and the LPAC, which is a political action committee, the budget transfers, and the issue of a compartment of behavior in a public setting. Okay?
I have a question.
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean to-
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Is there really a deed restriction actually placed, or was it the board wanting to send a message to a vote to, you nodded your head, so I'm gonna let you go.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
The board did pass a motion to have a deed restriction placed in the deed. A deed restriction was placed in the deed,
Okay.
and it was filed with the recorder deeds office. So there is a deed restriction in the deed in regard to the Ridgefield School, that it cannot be sold to a charter school, based on the board action.
And didn't 9 of us agree unanimously on that?
I believe so. I don't recall the vote specifically, but it was clearly a majority vote in favor of placing the deed restriction on the deed. And the deed has been, or the restriction has been placed. In addition, there's ongoing litigation in regard to that deed. There's a declaratory judgment action filed by Montessori against the school district in regard to the deed restriction. And the Court of Common Pleas held that the declaratory judgment action was inappropriate and dismissed the case. That has now been appealed to the Commonwealth Court. So at this point, I don't think it's appropriate for the board to do anything in regard to that until all litigation is completed. But hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, Mr. Senate, was that Judge Garhart dismissed it? Did you just say he dismissed?
Cases, yeah, he
No.
ruled that in favor of the school district and against Montessori. What the actual order said, whether the word dismissed was in there or not, I don't recall. The bottom line is that he determined that the issue was moot because it was not right.
Okay. Thank you. The question is not whether the school board approved it or not. My question in my correspondence, I'm sure that all school board members have read that correspondence, is it legal? Is it legal? And I asked, in that correspondence, I asked Mr. DePlacido to contact both the Office of General Counsel and also PSBA General Counsel.
And you can get 15, 16 different opinions. Bottom line is, at the time the board asked me to put it on there, it was my legal opinion that as owners of property, you can put a restrictive covenant on a deed.
On public property?
Yes.
Okay.
And whether or not a court, at some point in time, in the future, there is no court decision in Pennsylvania on this topic. And whether or not a court in the future would determine whether a restrictive covenant is appropriate or not, that's up to the court to decide. It's my opinion as property owners that you could put a restrictive covenant on there.
So what you're saying, Mr. Senate, is that if, in your legal opinion, you were wrong, and Montessori takes the
This
district
is,
to court.
this isn't, I think Mr. Senate has said what he needs to say. If this goes on the agenda, we'll discuss it further. I mean, we could sit here all day and go with this,
Right.
and we're not going to do that.
And everyone is aware, there is a House Bill 530, which delineates that charter school entities have the first right of refusal, which is,
Do you know that for a fact?
Yes.
Is that on the board?
Yes.
There is a House
But it
bill.
hasn't been approved.
The House bill's been pending for a long period of time,
Right.
never approved by the Senate, never voted on by or signed by the governor.
I'm sure
never
there's-
passed. So it's not really applicable to.
well, I don't know whether it passed or not, but it's.
Oh, I can tell you it did not.
It did not pass.
Never passed. The governor's never signed it. It's not the law in Pennsylvania.
But it's pending.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
There's a lot of laws that are pending out there in the world that if the governor never signs them, they never become law.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Portion of the meeting. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Welcome to stay. Thank you. Yeah, 2 minutes, we'll get into the committee meetings.